In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 top mistakes that agents make when they're helping sellers sell their home. So, if that's something you're interested in, you want to take your real estate game to the next level, stick around. This video might have 1 or 2 nuggets in it that you can implement, that you can put into action in your business to ensure that you don't make one of these 5 mistakes when working with sellers and helping them sell their homes. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Josh Barnett. I'm a real estate agent over at eXp Realty. I help agents get better. I'm telling you things that work for me. Hopefully they work for you too. They work for me. God's a big part of it. I give the glory to him all the time. And if you're interested in eXp and you're wanting to join eXp, definitely give me a shout. I'd love to chat with you about everything that eXp has to offer. Now let's get in today's video. The top 5 mistakes that I could think of that agents make when they're working with sellers. Item number 5, not listening. Not listening, guys. 9 times out of 10, a seller tells me every single thing I need to hear on that initial phone call. All I gotta do is listen. You go back, watch one of my other videos, 5 questions to ask sellers that pretty much tell you every single thing you need to know when you're doing the marketing evaluation, when you're talking about the why you're moving. If you just listen on that initial call, when a seller calls to chat with you about selling their home, they're gonna tell you every single thing you need to know to do exactly what it is they want your help with on getting the home sold. Now, of course, you've got to run the sell of the home through your program. You've got a specific program that gets homes sold for top dollar in the fastest amount of time possible. Absolutely. But the same token too, you have to listen to hear the cues, to hear the little nuggets that the seller's going to tell you that's going to make your job a lot easier. You're going to be able to handle those objections up front right away, and not when you're in the heat of the moment or after you've spent money on photos, you spent time on the sign placement, you spent time on getting the property on the market. Does that make sense? Just listen, and a seller's going to tell you 90% of the things that you need to know when you're selling their home that's going to make your job a lot easier as the listing agent. Mistake number 4 that I see agents make all the time, and I've made it myself too, is assuming the seller knows the process. If a seller calls, they're like, yeah, this is the 5th or 6th house that I've sold. That's great, but they may have never actually been showed the whole process. That's why you making videos on the process of selling your house is so important, because you can use those videos as additional education tools for the sellers as you go through each process. If you prep a seller, if you tell a seller, this is the next step, this is what you're going to expect, this is the ins and outs of the process that we're in right now, that's going to add so much value. That's going to give them so much value. They're going to be thankful that you're helping them along the way. The worst thing you could do is not show the process, not outline the process for a seller and leave them in the dark during the process. I think one of the things that people complain about the real estate agents don't do enough of is communication. Well, what if you had a video series? What if you had that conversation up front from the get-go? Here's the steps that we're in. You could give them a Google checklist. You can give them a Word doc or a Google Keep. A Google Keep, I use those all the time. I'm using them right now in the video. A checklist for each step of the way. And you could send them a little email congratulating them on completing step B. Here is the step C video. You could do so much to make your job so much easier as a listing agent if you just prep the sellers for the whole process. Because the more they know, the more they know what to expect. They don't feel like they're in the dark, and they feel like you're a rock star agent because you're over eXp with me and you are a rock star agent. Come on, you knew I was gonna put it in there. Item number 3, not seriously going over the comparable sales with the seller. Even if the seller says, well, Josh, I was thinking I need to get 300 for my house. And that's exactly where I was going to put them at too. I say, that's so exciting. You have to be looking at the same comparables that I'm looking at. And I want to go over them with you real quick, because that's exactly the same price the market is saying. You've had to have done this more than once. You've had to have done this more than once. What'd you say this was? Like the 6th home that you've sold? You know, be excited, confirm their price, especially if it's the price you were going to put it at, but still go over the comparables. Okay, we got 123 Josh Street that sold for $295. We've got 123 Jake Street that sold for $297, and we've got 123 Amanda Street that sold for $300. So yes, comparing your home to those three houses in your neighborhood, I agree with you 100% that it should be priced at $300,000. Thank you. I could book the photo shoot for tomorrow at 1, or is the following day at 4 better? And then they'll pick, and you book that photo shoot. Always book the next appointment. Always book the next appointment, okay? Always go forward. Always assume the sell. Your salesman, your saleswoman, assume the darn sell. Assume it. That's your job. You affirm things that people want to do and take them to the next step. That's what you do. Don't ever go quiet on people. Ask for the next step. All right. In this market, number 2 is starting to rear its head again. Okay. If the seller wanted to price it, 5, 10, 15,000 over market, and you're like, okay, but in 2 weeks, we got to do our price reduction. In 2 weeks, we got to, if we're not getting an offer, if we're getting 5, 6 showings a week and we don't have an offer, we're overpriced, and people are too scared to offer you what the market is saying. So in number two that you could do as a disservice to your seller as a real estate agent is not ask for that price reduction. Look, you've invested in time. You've invested photos. You've invested putting that sign in the ground, the lockbox on. You've invested marketing the home, okay? It's their turn. It's that seller's turn to invest in that price reduction that you guys talked about up front, especially if they want to try to beat the market. And always say, we can give it a shot. I've helped some sellers before beat the market. Absolutely, it's possible. We don't know until we get on the market. And then once we get on the market, then we'll know. But if we don't have an offer in 2 weeks, then we have to do that price reduction. And I'm going to be calling you for that price reduction. And your job is to say yes. Your job is to say yes. I'm talking to the seller right now, and I'm telling you guys the conversations that I have with the sellers. We've got to do those price reductions in 2 weeks if we don't have an offer. We'll try to beat the market, but we got getting closed for market value is the most profitable for you as the seller and me as the agent. But I don't say that part, me as the agent. You always talk about the seller. Just talk about the seller, okay? It's not about you, it's about them. All right, guys, and the number one mistake, the number one problem that agents have all the time with sellers, and I see it with the agents that I work with over EXP Realty, I see it with the agents that I work with at other brokerages, because I've been in the business 15 years, so I know a lot of agents and I help a lot of agents, not staying in touch. The worst feeling in the world is when you get a return to sender football magnet, a return to sender lemon meringue pie postcard, a return to sender thank you for your business card, and the person moved, and they moved without calling you. That is absolutely the worst thing in the world. Trust me, I've been through it. The agents I work with been through it. You've got to stay in touch with these people. You've got to stay in touch with these people, okay? That's the number one mistake that most agents have when helping sellers sell their homes is they don't stay in touch with them. So when that seller finally reaches that moment, that aha moment, okay, I'm going to sell my home, they don't think, oh, I better call Josh, because Josh didn't stay in touch with them. You have to stay in touch with them. If you stay in touch with them, you're supposed to touch them every 14 days. If you stay in touch with them, they're going to call you when it's time to sell the home. Now, I'm getting ready to give you the biggest nugget, the best part of the video whatsoever, okay? Minimum 6 postcards a year. Minimum 6 postcards a year. Minimum 1 month email newsletter. Minimum 1 month email newsletter. Minimum 6 times a year. Social media conversations. You get on there, you like a picture of theirs. If they went camping, say, oh my gosh, where was that campsite at? That looks amazing. Or they just got a new car. You're like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing new car. I hear the gas mileage on it is really great. What is the gas mileage on that one? Have social media conversations. So you hit them, 6 postcards, 6 social media interactions. You hit them with your monthly newsletter. They're going to watch your live videos on Facebook. They're going to watch your live videos on YouTube. They're going to watch your videos, okay? You want to be top of mind. When people think real estate, they've got to think about you. They got to think about you. And none of those things did I say call them throughout the year. So if you don't want to call them, you can do that. You can stay in touch with them that way, and you don't have to call them. You don't. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to hold a cookout at the city park. It's super inexpensive to rent a pavilion and grill out a bunch of hamburgers and hot dogs and let the kids play at the playground at the city park or the splash pad. Super inexpensive. It does not hurt to invite your customers to one of those get-togethers at least once a year. At least once a year. And tell them to bring all the friends they want to. Tell them to bring all the friends they want to. All right, that's the number one problem that I see with agents when they're helping sellers, is just staying in touch with them and being there when they're ready to sell their house. Guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out things that have helped me throughout my business over the last 15 years in an effort to help you, especially in these times in real estate, okay? Don't get out. Keep fighting. Keep making your calls. Keep doing your check-ins. Keep sending out your postcards. Keep building your newsletters. Keep doing your videos, okay? And you're going to be successful, especially if you're giving the glory to God. Hope you guys really appreciated today's video. 5 mistakes that agents make when working with sellers. Don't make these mistakes. If you do the opposite of these 5 mistakes, that means you're going to do 5 good things. So you're going to be constantly getting good business. Ooh, that reminds me. Let's do a rundown. Let's do the positives of these negatives. Number 5, when your customer calls you, listen to them. Listen to them. They're going to tell you every single thing you want to know. Just listen to them and take notes. As soon as they're done talking, number 4, go over the sales process with them. Go over the comparative market analysis. Go over the photo shoot. Go over getting on the market. Go over showings. Go over what it's like accepting offers. Go over what it's like waiting for abstracting to get done and waiting for the inspections to get done. Go over the surveyor showing up at the property and not to chase them off the property. Go over the inspection repairs, possible inspection repairs. Go over the final walkthrough and how clean the property has to be, and go over the cleaning process with them. Go over the process with the seller and you will absolutely be a rock star agent. Number 3, go over the comparables. Do not gloss over what do you want to sell your house for. Go over the comparables. Say, affirm what they make or say the market's saying something different. Your job as a rockstar agent is to be a professional, to go over the comparable sales, to set them up for success. By not going over the comparable sales, you could be setting them up for failure, and that's not why they're hiring you. That's not why they're paying you that fat commission check, and that's not what's going to make you a better agent. Be a better agent by being truthful upfront about the market. Number 2, if it's time for a price reduction, do it. Do it. The best house at the best price is always what is sold. Make sure your sellers have the best house in the best price range. Okay? If you're not doing that, you're not doing your job. You're a professional agent. Do your job. Make sure if you need a price reduction to request it, to recommend it, and to send them the net to seller before you even make that phone call so they know what their walkaway money is. Don't just throw out there a number and make them not know all the information up front. Give them the net to seller so they can make an educated decision with you on the phone. And if they need a night to sleep on it, that's fine, unless you talked about it when you took the initial listing and you're making that phone call that you already told them you're going to make if the property doesn't have a contract on it yet. Be the professional. They hired you to make sure the job gets done. Do your job. Number one, you want to be a successful listing agent, you want to list houses and have the life of a listing agent, you have to stay in touch with your people. You have to stay in touch with your people. As long as you're staying in touch with your people, as long as you're top of mind, when it comes time to sell that home, unless they just absolutely hate you, they're going to choose you. And guys, side note, they might not like you as a person, but they choose you because you're the professional, you're the expert, you're the one who loves to sell houses, and they will absolutely choose you over that. Sellers have chosen me, and I didn't have any relationship with them whatsoever in the business, but they chose me because I was professional, because I set standards, and I love, this is what I do. This is, God bless me with the ability to sell houses. This is literally what I love to do. I can't do anything else. I can't. I feel like a stay-at-home dad that just lists houses. Guys, I'm so blessed. If you just, what is it called when you let off that aura? You let off that Josh sells houses aura. They're going to choose you. Stay in touch with your people. Stay top of mind. Make educational videos on social media. Be social on social media. Send your postcards. Send your newsletters. Stay in touch with people, and they will absolutely choose you, and you will be so successful in the end of 2022 and 2023, guys. You can do this. If I can do it, a really overweight, bald dude can do it. You can absolutely do it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Subscribe, like, and share it. Got questions about eXp Realty? Don't hesitate. Reach out to me. Contact information down below. Guys, it's mind-blowing over here. You're going to love it. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, there's mosquitoes out here.